James O'Keefe has thrown a real curveball into the system that Disney had planned for getting a new CEO to replace Bob Iger. Now, nobody knows exactly how they're going to handle the situation, but scrutiny is coming. Investors not happy if Disney is keeping certain candidates off of the list simply because they're male, pale, and white. Folks, we're here to tell you things are not going the way that Big Bobby wanted when picking the person who will replace him. Now it's heating up. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we endeavor to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. And we certainly do appreciate all of your support out there. It is an attitude of gratitude right here every time you click one of these videos of excellence. All right, folks, we start off here in a strange place. Deadline all the way back on June 16th. It'll make sense in just a moment. Pixar comes alive. Inside Out 2 turns box office right side up with second best animated pick opening of all time at $155 million. That was domestic. Now, folks, why does this have something to do with Bob Iger and the CEO job that needs to be replaced in the next year or so? Well, take a look at this. This is the Disney stock. And as we were reporting, folks, the Disney stock was on the slide down, under $100 per share. And then, just as I said here on the channel, although we give no financial advice, Inside Out 2 was something that helped investors believe that the ship was being righted, that perhaps Disney could actually create new content that folks would enjoy, and then they could merchandise that and get people back to the parks. Now, let's take a look again at the date. When does this happen? June 16th is when that article came out. When did the Disney stock start going up? June 17th. The first day that it could, because that was a Sunday. So the stock goes dramatically up, $2.50 up after that announcement. Now, why does that matter? It matters because Disney needs a string of good news. They need many positive articles. They don't need the James O'Keefe stuff landing right now, because it's going to take the wind out of their sails when it comes to Inside Out 2, and it's going to refocus people onto what's going on with Star Wars, The Acolyte, with DEI, with ESG, with Gina Carano. It's going to bring all that back and get them off track for talking about that which would help their stock and that which would stabilize their process for picking a new CEO. This is out of Yahoo Finance. Disney CEO Bob Iger's successor could be revealed in 2024, says his close advisor. This is really important stuff, folks. Hang tight. We're going to show you why. It's possible that the Disney CEO succession race ends before 2025. Now, folks, to give you an idea of how important and how big this is, remember the race for the CEO position. If it ends before 2025, that means we'll know who the next CEO will be in 5 months. Remember, because we're almost halfway through this year, they're not going to announce it over the Christmas vacation when everybody leaves the studios. So this is going to be, if it's announced in 2024, July through the very, very beginning of December, sometime through there, if this is correct. Says, I think we may know this year, but Bob has 2.5 more years, so it wouldn't surprise me if it is extended a little bit beyond this calendar year into next calendar year. Close advisor and Candle Media co-founder Kevin Mayer told Yahoo Finance at the Cannes Lions Festival on Tuesday. Now, remember that Kevin Mayer is someone who's been looked at in the past for being the next CEO. Doesn't sound like he's going to be that CEO. Folks, we can get really close to knowing who the CEO is going to be based on the James O'Keefe stuff. We'll explain that in a moment. And it might make investors really unhappy. This James O'Keefe thing, they're trying not to let it blow up. But if it does, if it takes off, and if the average person knows about it, could be tough. Mayer is a former longtime Iger deputy, leading the launch of Disney Plus before a brief stint at the CEO of TikTok. Mayer, who said he has no exact date or specific insight into the process, added succession will be very clean and very good this time around. So he has no knowledge, but he knows that. Most important thing. In the not too distant future, he's going to make it known who his successor is, so he has some time to spend with him or her at the helm, predicted Mayer. There are reportedly 4 internal candidates being considered for the coveted position, which Iger held from 2005 to 2020 before returning in November of 2022. Now, folks, remember, he was only really gone for 6 to 8 months. He was there in his same office, basically controlling the company. Bob Chapek was a figurehead, and then when Bob Chapek got in there, and they realized he was not going to be the fall guy because the stock was soaring at $200 per share under Bob Chapek, they said, we got to get rid of this guy. He's not politically aligned with where we're going as a company. He's going to bring us back to the sensible center. He's going to pull us back into the mainstream middle. Get rid of him. And that's how they got into the mess they are in. is because getting rid of a CEO, it turns out, is a messy business, and it took throwing him under the bus and the company under the bus to do it. Bob Iger back after just 6 to 8 months, depending on how you want to measure it. But here are the 4 people who are supposedly, allegedly at the top, and we'll tell you why one of them is basically now the only candidate that you should consider to be likely. Entertainment Division co-chiefs Dana Walden and Alan Bergman. Parks Division head Josh DeMauro and ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitaro. Folks, I can tell you basically you can eliminate those bottom 2. We hate it for Josh DeMauro, but things have not gone well in the parks as of late. We'll be covering this over the weekend. Attendance not going well in Disney World at all. Rides are broken down all the time. Splash Mountain's replacement, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, is not well received. And as far as ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitaro, never have I ever thought that Jimmy Pitaro is actually someone being looked at. Never, ever. I will eat crow if Jimmy Pitaro is the one they go with. So that gives you Dana Walden and Alan Bergman. And folks, we're here to tell you, we know which one that CEO is going to be. Basically, the company could also choose to go with an outside candidate. That is also true. But what all media experts agree on is that the process must be executed flawlessly, following a high-profile bungling last year when former CEO Bob Chapek was fired in favor of bringing back Iger. Had to get rid of that $200 stock price, folks. Had to get rid of that $200 a share stock price. What's it at right now under Bobby? $1.02, about half. And that's on the upswing. It was at less than half of what it was under Bob Chapek. Got to get rid of him, though. Got to get rid of him and got to control that narrative if you're those legacy media types. Can't ever say under Bob Chapek it was at $200. What the heck are we doing? Why did we do this to ourselves? Can't say that. It's not part of the narrative. This is by Don Chmielewski, and it's out of Reuters. Hunt for Disney CEO Bob Iger's successor kicks into high gear. This is back from April 3rd, folks. And what this was meant to do back when this article came out was to let you know that the choice was going to be made soon. And that's why I believe the choice has been made. That's why I believe that we're just waiting now for the next 5 months, as was suggested by Yahoo, as was suggested by Mr. Mayer, who is a close confidant of Bob Iger. We're just waiting now to know who that's going to be over the next 5 months. But as I said, I think we can rule out who is not in line for that. And this is where the James O'Keefe thing comes into play. Now, the mainstream media is not covering the James O'Keefe story. Outside of Breitbart, nobody that I have seen is picking this up. And Breitbart, of course, is isolated. You cannot, I would say, you cannot consider them to be the legacy media in the same way that ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, that all of those are. And Fox, of course, is in its own category as well. But Breitbart, the only major news source that is running with this story. Perhaps I should rephrase that, folks, because it just doesn't matter. Let me show you. Let me refresh this to make sure we don't have an even bigger number that should be said. Not quite yet. Still at 5.9 million views. It turns out that if you are on X, if you're on what was formerly Twitter, the house that Elon Musk is building, you don't have to be on CNN. You don't have to be on ABC. Almost 6 million views on this in about 24 hours. That's phenomenal viewership, and it's being driven by channels such as this and others who are covering this. And of course, O'Keefe is no small player either. He's doing well for himself with this story. But folks, 6 million views is no small potato. And what does that mean? Well, it means that investors probably very shortly, if not yet, will know exactly how this company chooses to vet people who are going to be put into positions that matter. And let's hear right now what Michael Giordano, a executive within the Disney company, what he had to say in this video about how they select and choose people. And then I'll tell you what this means for the CEO race.
Certainly, there have been times where, there's no way we're hiring a white male person.
Just kind of unspoken.
There are times when it's spoken, but
How would they say it?
there's no way we're hiring a white male person. They say
Like straight to you? Or okay.
They'd be very careful how they message that to agents.
According to these videotapes, Disney blatantly discriminates against white men in particular.
I think I'm sort of well prepared for it. I'm well positioned for it. But as far as Disney's concerned, I'm a white male. That's not who they're looking to promote at the moment.
All right, folks, let's talk about that for just a minute. What does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? What does it mean indeed? Well, It means that when this CEO is selected to replace Bob Iger, by the way, is a white male. He's the one who's done all this. Folks, I'm not here to tell you that white men should be in charge of everything. I don't think that's true at all. I think, though, that you should not be selecting people whatsoever based on the color of their skin or their ancestry. You don't have to send people to 23andMe to find out what their genetic makeup is before you hire them. I think that's a bad idea. I think we're a kaleidoscope, every one of us. And I think we're more similar than we are different, and we should take care of each other and treat each other kindly. But whoever is selected to be the CEO of this company now, if it's not a white man, is going to be viewed through this news story, through this expose. So, folks, I'm here to tell you, we've always said we believe that Dana Walden was being positioned to be the next CEO. Partially, we believe that because Dana Walden was the one who was sent on behalf of the company to a white tie function, white tie dinner at the Biden administration White House to welcome in French President Emmanuel Macron. And we've always believed since then that she was the one, because that was one of the most coveted things you could attend from the position of those who work at Disney and are in that political bubble. So we've always thought that Dana Walden was going to be the one. Now, however, with the James O'Keefe expose, and by the way, we don't know how many more of these are going to be landing, but if there are more, and if this gets worse for Disney, it's going to put a very significant air of suspicion around Dana Walden being selected as the CEO. That's going to create a scramble. My belief is that Disney was likely getting ready to announce her in the next months, perhaps as soon as the next meeting, the next earnings meeting. That is going to have to be reconfigured, re-examined now, because it's going to bring out all sorts of questions about this company and about what it's doing. Think about all the candidates who are white men. Right now, there are very few candidates who are not white men. I'm not telling you that's a good thing. I think that's a bad thing, actually. I think that I want to live in a world where there are many different people of many different backgrounds all being considered. But that's not where Disney is right now. And of all the candidates that we've heard, they're all white men, basically, except for one, Dana Walden. And if she's selected now, rightly or wrongly, that's going to bring some questions up. It's going to be interesting seeing how this plays out. Disney wanted to have a non-stop positive 2 weeks of PR spin about Inside Out 2. It's important for their stock. Disney now will have to stop dealing with just Inside Out 2 and praising that movie and its box office success. And instead now, Disney has to deal with James O'Keefe, with CEO issues, with Star Wars, with The Acolyte, and how their stock might not be all right if this continues to come pouring out of OMG. That's the new O'Keefe Media place to be. All right, folks, that's the video for you today. We hope you enjoyed it. Are you ready for a new Disney CEO to be announced? Are you ready to see who will be the next Bob Chapek? God bless their heart. God bless their heart for wanting to try that again. You better kiss the ring of Iger, because he's not going anywhere either. Folks, he's going to be there into the 2030s. He has consultation agreements. He has everything in place. He will be in charge of this company all the way until the 2030s. So whoever is the CEO, they are the CEO under the king, Bob Almighty. Folks, help us be almighty. No, we don't need that. Just help us be good. We'd like to be good today. Help us send this YouTube video far and away out to everybody who needs to see it. Click the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, hit the notification bell, drop a comment down below, let us know your thoughts. Folks, have fun this weekend. TGIF, right? Get out in the sunshine, enjoy the pool, enjoy the water, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends. We wish you the very best, and heck, play a little Vacation Radio while you're at it. It's on YouTube at Vacation Radio. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
You'd better hang on to your feathers, little bird. They need to put you in the show.
What? Jose, what are you listening to? You don't even have ears.
Vacation Radio 24/7. Original music on YouTube.
Huh?
Vacation Radio. WDW Pro Music Channel.
I have no idea what you're saying. But if you want to be listening to music, you should head over to Vacation Radio 24/7 on YouTube. One of the 100 other channels WDW Pro's been working on. Oh, and I have a song for you, Jose. Jose Cowabunga. He is Jose Cowabunga. He's Jose. That one seems a little bit foreign to you.